Hello. Hello, welcome to Everyday Ordinary, Extraordinary Men. I am Martina and I'm one of your podcast hosts, and I'm here with Christina.
Hello, everyone.
And we created the podcast pondering on this context. So, most humans have a lot of preconceived notions and stereotypes about gender. For example, men are tough, silent, and forceful, and women are chatty, manipulative, and emotional. And in doing that, we put people in a box, and often we forget to see beyond those labels. And if someone is not fitting the mold, we might call them a tomboy or a sissy. And those in similar labels just cause so much discord, right? We're just like, we feel trapped a little bit. So, what would the world look like where we go beyond our preconceived notions and understand that we are much more than our gender? That we humans are strong and soft and gentle and deep and powerful and tough and fierce and open, and that qualities are not specific to a gender, that we all have all qualities available to express. What would the world look like where we all are free to be who we choose to be and express all of our emotions? When we allow ourselves to express the so-called masculine and feminine qualities within ourselves, we set ourselves free. And we allow others to do the same. When we accept all of them, we create synergy, peace, and harmony. And today we're here with Ray or Ramon. Do you want to introduce yourself? Do you want to tell us who you are?
Hi, my name is Ray. Um, Living in Queens, born and raised all my life. I'm a father of three beautiful children, a teenager and two toddlers, um, teenage girl, two little boys. I own my own business. I have the pleasure of working from home. Um, I love sports. Um, I'm constantly learning new things in regards to my beliefs, with spirituality, just trying to become a better person, specifically for my family and, of course, for myself.
Mm,
Yeah.
beautiful. You know, for me, who you are for me is somebody who's so curious and so excited about learning and so willing to question and look and try and understand. And I so appreciate that. You know, I so appreciate that. So, could you answer this question or finish this sentence for us? If you really knew me, you would know. What would we know about you if we really knew you?
That I am extremely loyal
Mm.
because, and as you know, through many of our conversations, I'm very respectful of other people's ways of looking at things. So some people think that love is the strongest feeling. Me personally, in my experience throughout life, I feel like loyalty is just a tad over love, only because once again, this is my experience. You will still see somebody hurt someone that they love, but you very rarely see somebody hurt someone they're loyal to. It's just a different way of looking at things. It's almost like if you're loyal to someone, you actually sometimes stop and dissect how said thing can affect them. As where sometimes with love, you just think it's just so common that you might be like, well, yeah, they love me, so they'll understand. You don't really do that when you're loyal to someone. You're like, no, I don't want you to understand why I hurt you. I just won't, because I don't want to put you in that predicament, if that makes any sense. So that's the thing about me. I'm very big on loyalty.
It makes so much sense, right? And it's I don't think I've ever had someone say it that way. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, because it's true. Like we do go around hurting people we love left and right. And is it because we let people off the hook so easily? Like I'm not sure what it is that we think it's okay to do that, but I do like the piece that we don't do that to people we're loyal to. So, yeah. a
Like I
new.
said, I think it's because it's such a common feeling of love. Like you may love a family member, so you think it's just set in stone. So you don't dissect things before you do something that may affect them. As for some reason, well, at least with me, if I'm loyal to someone, every situation I kind of dissect it before and see which way it can go depending on what I do. So like knowing, hey, if I do this to this person that I'm loyal to, I know this is going to happen. But sometimes love can be kind of blind, and you're like, she loves me or he loves me, so they'll just deal with it. They know my heart. No, they don't know. They know what you're doing to them. So that's why I'm big on loyalty. I still, of course, love is just as important, but in my point of view and the way that I things that I've been through in my life, I see the how powerful being loyal can be.
I love it. It makes me think though, and I don't have answers here. It just makes me think if do you think people who aren't loving themselves wholly, like if you don't have the self-love over here, then maybe you don't quite get it for the rest of it. So maybe it's easy to hurt the people around you when you don't have that self-love going on over here first. Just a thought.
The thing about that point of view, though, I think sometimes you don't get that emotionally intelligent until you're a certain age. You can't expect that from a child
Absolutely.
to think that way. So while I agree with you're saying, I think that that kicks in at a specific maturity level. You know, everyone's matures differently, but I feel like for a child, that would be something difficult to comprehend.
Agreed.
The self-love, hold on, the self-love
Yes,
concept?
yes, because I didn't feel that self-love until a latter part of my life. Um, as you know, we've had many personal conversations in regards to my upbringing. Depending on the way you are raised, um, it can alter how you view yourself. So it may be difficult to come across the self love you speak of, or you may if you're constantly being bashed, or you don't get quote unquote the love a child should receive, because not every child is loved the way they should. You don't develop self love. If anything, you develop an ego to try to cover up for the fears that are instilled in you instead of love. So
Okay,
that's what I meant.
I might disagree with that one. This
Okay.
one. I might disagree with this one. I believe that all the children, when they're born, they know who they are, and then they lose it over time. I think it's a different and you know, I hear what you're saying about loyalty, and then there's a
Why do
little
you think? But why do you think they lose it? Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, I understand. I understand. That's the environment that you know. But and the other thing about loyalty, there's a little voice in my head that is saying, "Yeah, well, but that's like where do you draw the line of blind loyalty and conscious loyalty, right? Because blind loyalty is just following someone into, you know, jump the cliff, right? But that awareness of loyalty, like where is that line? And I
Yeah,
don't know, right? I don't know. I just like that's just as I was listening to you, I was like, oh yeah, that's beautiful. And then at the same time, it's like, yeah, okay. You know?
I believe the same way that you can develop love for a person because they're doing things to make you fall in love with them, or even if it's not on a personal relationship, it can be a friend. The way you develop love is the same way you develop loyalty. Hey, this person's been there for me when I needed them, or I see the goodness in this person, so it's attracting me to because I want to be around like-minded people. So if you see someone's a good person and also has done great things for you, or has come up to bat for you. They say a loyal friend speaks good behind your back, protects you when you can't protect yourself. So that's when you develop the loyalty. But I see what you're saying about the blind loyalty. In my point of view and in my perspective is I'm loyal to someone when they earn that loyalty. Because if because I'm a person that I think about everything all the time. It could happen 10 years ago, And I could be driving in my car and I'm like, oh, that's what that meant. I don't know. Sometimes I think that's a gift and a curse because you tend to be a dweller. But when I see someone making a constant effort to earn my loyalty, it can be a friend from school, a business partner. That's when you develop that strong loyalty to them, because in a world full of um, not too nice people, to put it in nice terms, when somebody does good by you on a constant level, it's love and loyalty go hand in hand. That's why I wasn't trying to differentiate them or
Okay.
separate them. Sorry,
No,
but
no, no. It's I just wanted to
loyalty,
clarify it. So I appreciate you doing that.
that's what I'm saying. So to me, it's not blind loyalty. But then again, I don't mind being blindly loyal to you if you haven't shown me any reason not to be. You shouldn't. But of course we do. Because when somebody shows you nothing but love, respect on a continuous basis, time after time, why do you think dogs love us so much? Why you think they're so loyal to you? Because you're their world. And ever since they've been around you, if you're a good pet owner, all you do is care for it. That's why they're so happy to see you all the time. They know nothing else. Of course, we have deeper um, a deeper mindset than an animal will in regards to relationships, but they're just loyal and loving to that person that showed them no different. So blind loyalty, I get what you're saying. That could be a little extreme in regards to like if you're in an abusive situation and you can't get outside of yourself and you just be like, no, 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 this is the only way. I get what you're trying to say. I meant it more as in when somebody shows you that respect, that love for long periods of time, I think it's only right to be loyal to them. That's what I meant.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, Ray, what would you say your superpower is?
My superpower. Well, I was speaking with Martina about this yesterday. I, to use like a baseball analogy, like I bat like 400 when it comes to noticing the minute I meet someone if they're a good person or not. And of course, I have my flaws. I mean, like on a deeper level. I don't want to sound like, but I think I can read eyes. They say the eyes are the key to the soul, but for some, like I can give you different situations where even I surprised myself, like, wow, it took 3 years, but it is what I said. Like something as simple as, and I went to a Christmas party with my fiance when she first started teaching. And when we went, I was like, hey, I get a very bad feeling from these three coworkers of yours. She was like, oh my God, I love them. They're so nice. They're so inviting when I come here. They were the first ones to show me around, to make me feel comfortable at this job. Are you sure? Not even a year later, something came up and she was like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to second guess when you say that. Because she was like, stop doing that. Every time we go somewhere, you want to dissect people or you want to like analyze things. And I'm like, it's not me. It's just the minute I talk to you and I look at you, right away the brain just starts going, how is this person? Is this a trustworthy person? Like, what mask did they put on? Because well, I feel like everybody wears a mask, to be honest. It's like, what mask are you wearing? Sometimes people wear a mask just to protect themselves a little bit, and sometimes people wear a mask because they have ill intentions. So I tried to differentiate, like, no, this is just a reserved person, or this is just a quiet person, or this is a shady person that's smiling, but I know you're not really smiling because your brain is focused on your facial expressions, but your eyes don't. They don't know how to lie. Psychiatrists teach you that. The brain, the eyes are too connected to the nerves in your brain. So they're working on that lie you're trying to portray. So I don't know if it's a superpower, but that's one of the things that I was able to notice as I've gotten older, that the minute that I get that vibe from a person from talking to them after a while, I'm usually not wrong. That's about
That's
it.
such a great superpower. It's like if we all could have that, right? So we could just discern from the get-go, but at the same time, it would rob us of all the life experiences we need to have, right?
And it
And
could be family
that's the
members.
flip side to it, right? So Ray, what makes you come alive? What are you most passionate about? What do you love about your life?
Well, right now, what I love about my life, to be a little specific, is my younger children. Because when I had my daughter, me and my fiance. By the way, I have the three children. My daughter's 15, my son is 2.5, and the other one is 1.5. So it's with the same person. So, but when we had the first one, it was like right in the beginning of our relationship. We didn't even have, I think we had like a year together. We were very young, and I didn't respect fatherhood the way I should have. I didn't. It also has to do with how I was raised. I didn't see the necessity that of being as present as I am now. So that's why I say, like, right now, just I feel like having a chance, an opportunity to do it different, it just gives me a completely different feeling in regards to like how much, like, the love that they like emit out of me is just totally different. And as you know, I told you, things have gone a lot better with my daughter in regards to me being a better dad, but it's a journey. Like, I saw a line that said, be nice to your parents, even if you don't agree with the way they raised you. Remember, it was their first time at life. So you have to forgive people, you know what I mean? So it's a process. But in regards to like right now, I just, what makes me feel good and what makes me feel like a better person is just trying to give my family in general, not just the little ones, but just everybody, like a better version of me. Because a better version of me just is going to let them flourish.
It's so beautiful. I love how you said respecting fatherhood and the whole like importance of being present, right?
Thought it
But
was just have the kid, be there, provide, make sure they have a good home. No, it's a lot deeper than that. It's the little details of, hey, they weren't doing that 3 days ago. Or look, wow, they said this word way better than they did last week. Oh my God, they don't want the pacifier. Oh, look, just little things.
yeah,
Completing a sentence instead of daddy milk. Now it's daddy, I want warm milk. Just little things that I'm appreciating so much more now than I did back then. I was a lot younger. Not
how
ex-
did that shift your relationship with your daughter and your fiance?
How did that what?
How did how did that shift in you as a father shift your relationship with your teenager and your partner, your fiance?
So, like I said, when I first with my daughter, we were very young. I was young. I was 21. Um, so I made a lot of mistakes in regards to being more present. It was just more like, hey, I'm busting my ass, making sure we live good, we're young. Um, so I feel like when I made these changes and I took things more personal, it allowed me to see the mistakes that I made in the past. And I'm just trying to um, nip a lot of those things in the bud before my daughter gets older. It's like the importance um, of her knowing that the love that I have for her that I didn't show. It's very important. And along with like me looking for different ways to handle stress with the business, with the kids, just life in general, that's led me to like meditation, which was something I never cared for. I thought it was goofy, but that has changed. I started meditating in June, so this is very new to me, and the changes that I've made in just a couple of months has like brushed away a lot of issues that we've had for years. Like once you dig into yourself and stop looking for outside sources or the blame game and see that if you just work on yourself, you start your paradigm changes. The way you look at things changes, and that just makes things so much better.
It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful model that you're setting for your daughter that, look, I can change and I could do better. Like, right?
Patience,
And
patience.
for your sons, right? Because
Right.
they're going to be looking at how you treat the world, right? That's that's in the work I do as a parent coach. I always tell it's like kids take the cues from us on how to interact with the world, with us and with the world by how we treat ourselves and the world. So beautiful.
Yeah, they mirror us right now instead of
Mm-hmm.
listening.
Yep.
Like all their values and stuff like that, you can't yell it into them. You can't give them a speech. You just gotta observe them and also observe yourself to understand that they're just gonna watch you and repeat it. I didn't look at things that way. I thought it was hey, 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 and it's not that way. They can care less. It's what are you doing?
That never works. Never works.
Fear doesn't work.
No.
So how do you recharge your batteries?
Well, thanks to meditation, that's to me, I always recharge my batteries was getting away from people because I thought that was the way to do things, like shut everything down and keep pressing things away and think, but that's what leads to depression, pushing things away, thinking you can hide them, but no, they don't go away. So thanks to meditation, like that's what I do now. It's open. Like meditation has a lot of tentacles. It goes many different ways. That's how I met you. That's how I've come across reading. I've been reading more now. That's really helped me. Reading has really helped. Um, Exercising, getting healthier, being more conscious of what I put in my body. Um, I believe in tree hugging. I know it sounds trees they emit this energy that people are not aware of. My grandfather used to tell me, I used to be like, whatever, grandpa. But they know before all this electronics and all this stuff was around, there was a reason why they knew, hey, go to the backyard and get this leaf, boil it, drink it. That's gonna cure that. There's a reason. So getting in touch with nature, that's really helped me. Walking barefoot in the grass, that's the reason why when you're in the park, you get so sleepy. If you lay down, it's because it's recharging you. So I think just being conscious of what I see. There's a lot of stuff that I stopped doing, which is I stopped watching like the news because one thing is when you see something, I thought when you see something and it's over, you thought it was over, but no, the brain is like a computer chip. It's gonna program that. It's gonna remember that. So just being conscious of what affects your energy, whether it's draining, whether it keeps it low, those kind of things are what has really helped me. And I notice being conscious of what I eat, what I see, and what I hear really helps in regards to like my day-to-day life. So I've had to cut out things I love, but I'd rather be in the pursuit of peace than entertainment.
Mm-mm-mm. You're talking my language. I'm so into that everything is energy. I've been reading The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. That's like my jam currently. That like everything is like our thoughts are energy, right? Like physical things are energy. So like everything has an energy to it. And can I get responsible for all of that, right? And yes, it's a huge conversation, but if I take it in little pieces, like what's the energy? What am I thinking the entire time I'm doing my massage, right? Like, am I worrying about what I'm going to eat the next meal? Can I put that back out of my head? Can I focus on the energy I'm putting into this client right now? Can I focus just on love? Can I, and can I catch myself when I'm thinking negative thoughts about people? And can I shift back to a positive thought pattern, right? Like,
Being present,
yes.
it's
Yes.
so hard.
It is.
All the vices and life, but when you can hone in on just be present right now, it's it just helps a lot.
Yeah. If you can just tune into like, is the thought making me happy or is it sucking my energy, right? Like, if you could just get to that level of of what's happening in me right now, that would be
Right now, I'm reading a
shift
book
for
called
many people.
Feelings. I'm reading a book called Feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Goddard. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. It's very short, but it's amazing. It's only 3 chapters, very specific. It was written in 1944. If you just give it a chance today, keep in mind 1944, things were a little different in regards to how things were expressed, very male orientated. But if you just decipher what he's trying to say in regards to how your feelings are really like the gateway to your life because of the frequency they put you in, like how you have the power to really control things just by the way you feel yourself. Like you don't control the bad word, but it's not like you can't control what's outside, but you can control how you deal with it. And that just makes things so different. It's very short, but it's amazing. He has a lot of good books, that man.
Really powerful stuff.
Neil Goddard.
Awesome. I'll
I
check that one out.
Yeah, I can tell you how to write it. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. Neil Neville. I always say Neil Neville. Neville. Last name Goddard.
Check it out.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to give you a multi-part question, and you can answer this. It might be one answer for the whole thing. You might just want to take a piece of it. I'll read it, and you can decide how you want to answer it. So what makes you come alive? What are you passionate about? What do you love about your life? Yeah.
What do I love about my life?
And what makes you come alive?
I mean, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier in regards to my kids. But when I've taken out a lot of different vices out of my life, nothing crazy, but just coming back to just being a dad. That has really, I think it's changed my life for the better because I'm no longer thinking about just me. Of course, I've had a 15-year-old daughter. I should have done this a long time ago. But the point is, I'm just being brutally honest. I guess wanting better for someone else, of course, my immediate family, like that's what drives me, like making sure they have. I know we speaking about you don't carry the book bags. I understand that, but like trying to make my child's life as easy as it can be in regards to certain things while still letting them mature, but just letting them know they have like I want to be their crutch because life is trying to kick their ass. So why not? Why not be? Because when a child feels like they don't have that, I feel like they make a lot of mistakes. So if you can be the one, or you and your partner can be the team where your kids know, hey, the world could be going to shits, but I have my parents. I feel like that's like the best thing you could ever do. So that's what drives me to keep learning, to becoming a better person, to like you said, like the vibe you get from me is I'm very curious. It's because I feel like we all just want peace, some way somehow. It can be whatever. So that's why people go to vices because they can't sometimes control. They can't handle their life. I want to find a way where I don't need anything but my kids and whatever I feel like doing, but from a peaceful standpoint, not like, oh, let me do this so I don't have to think about that. Whether it could be having a drink, smoking a joint, um, focusing on sports so much, or just trying to do something to get your mind off of things. I'm just trying to find a way to where if I can just focus on myself and not and live a life where I don't have to, like they say, live a life where you feel like you're on vacation. You don't have to go on vacation because a lot of people are just running from reality.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able
think
to find peaceful ways to deal with things.
I think that's exactly the point, right? It's if you're not like it comes back to being present, right? If you're numbing, you're avoiding being present in whichever way you numb, right? It's like there's no judgment really, because we all do it in our own way. But it's an avoiding of being present in a certain way. So that's what I hear in what you're saying, right? And the other thing I heard is like really like being that safe haven for your children, however you create that. And that's ultimately all children need, right? It's like that we can be, it's almost like the analogy I use when I coach is like the riverbank. We are the riverbank, and inside of that riverbank they can go back and forth and in between, and it's fine, but they're contained. Like you create a container for them that they know this is safe, this is the area where I can play and I can express and I can be myself and I can learn myself, right? It's just really, really, really beautiful you sharing that. So Ray, let me ask you, and this is a multi-part, right? So what was your biggest lesson? For example, what was your biggest challenge, or what made you who you are today, or what took most courage, or when did you stand up for something that mattered to you?
I feel like biggest challenge was stop blaming people. Like being self-aware of having the control of your own life. Because that's why they say two brothers can have an alcoholic parents. One becomes a lawyer, another one goes with the parents. The more than likely, the one that also became an alcoholic, no, it's because of my upbringing. No, because of my upbringing. My dad was abusive. But the lawyer can tell you, hey, no, I observed that situation, but I made a decision to go this way. So it took me a long time, still working on that. Once you stop blaming people for your situations, even if they're right, that's the thing. Just because you complain about something doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just not going to serve you. It's okay to observe it, but it's not going to serve you if you really want to change. Because if you want to keep complaining, you're always going to find an excuse for it. You will always find a way to come up with a story to serve your negative purpose. So until you make that decision and realize, yeah, these things happen. Yeah, things didn't go your way in XYZ situation. You still have the power within yourself to fix it and make things better. So I feel like that was a big thing to me, that I was too busy complaining about my upbringing, or so quick to blame others for things that I could have done better. And if you notice, if a person's a negative person, if someone's negative, they're always gonna find the negative things in every situation. They don't believe in the silver lining. They don't believe in learning from a mistake. They're just gonna keep dwelling, and it's just a cycle of the constant negativity. It's like I said, complaining and complaining, and you don't do nothing for yourself. So until you reach that point where you're like, enough, enough complaining, what can I do to help myself? It's not that it's easy. It's not a quick thing. It's a process. Because you can speak to somebody old and like, no, I'm still learning. Older, I mean, not old, because age is just a number. It's how you feel. Life is a learning process. But you're never going to learn, and you're not going to get out the mud if you don't want to really get clean. And all the stuff you see wrong with other people, you know what that is? There's inner issues that you haven't fixed. Because life's a mirror. So all the stuff you find wrong with you, you're gonna find it in other people. And life will find a way of putting them in your life. And you're gonna keep getting that issue until you resolve it with yourself. The minute you do that, you find yourself not as angry. Traffic bothers you a little less. And when you realize also that people are living their own life, it's not you. Maybe they didn't hold the door for you because they were thinking about the project they haven't finished. Or maybe they cut you off because they have an appointment or they have to use the bathroom. It's not you. But you won't realize that until you don't, work with yourself, work out your kinks. We're always gonna have kinks. You're not gonna fix everything, but fix a little bit, and then a little bit, and then it accumulates. Because, like I said, everybody just wants peace at the end of it. You don't want
So powerful.
ease. You don't want
Yeah.
ease.
So powerful to be 100% responsible. And I know we're never ever 100% responsible, but if you can take it on as a fun game to play, you will always do better, right? Yeah. So good. So, if you had a magic wand and could give people any quality, what would it be and why?
So when I read that, I was like, what would it be? I didn't want to be cheesy. Oh, power to read minds and this and that. I feel like a truthful answer would be kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, which is the ability to catch themselves in the situation that they're in, and instead of dwelling, to try to figure it out. Because sometimes that could take years. I had an issue that lasted years for me to figure it out. But that's because I kept dwelling and dwelling and dwelling and dwelling. So if I had a magic wand like you just asked, I feel like if people could just have the intuition to stop, observe, and then try to figure it out, as opposed to just staying there, staying in that negative cycle. Like, because as someone who did that for years, I can see the toll that it takes on you. So I think it just sucks that people have to, there's so much stress that people live under because they don't have like somebody to help them get out of it, or just being able to see things differently. And when you don't have somebody to guide you out of the situation, you can stay there for a long time. There's people who never get out. So imagine living a life 30, 40, 50 years of just dwelling. So if I had a magic wand, I wish people just had the ability to like catch themselves. Like, it's okay, suffer, cry, but try to get out of it. That's what I wish for people. Because suffering just in your own head, ugh, it's just a daisy chain of issues.
It reminds me, landmark in one of the courses, they would say, your mind is like a roller coaster. It loves to hear you scream. And that's what it reminded me of when like it's the difference between a rock and you rolling down the mountain is that you complain all the way down, right? That's what it reminded me of what you were saying. That, that just like, our minds are just so tricky and so loud and again, coming present, right? Becoming present will help quiet that a little bit.
Meditation has really helped with that, though.
Mm.
It really has helped me with that. But when you realize your thoughts are just, I do this little thing now where it works for me. So like I look at thoughts like little people in my head, like a team. So the negative ones are a specific color, the positive ones over here. So it helps me that when they try to come up, I'm like, hey guys, yeah, I know, I'm not
Back of the bus.
ignoring you, but just not right now. I've got to feed the baby. Yeah. I know that's got to get paid, but just hold on for a second. And it's like I said, it's not that you're not going to go through things, but they're not as harsh on you.
Mm.
You got to find ways to make your life a little easier because nobody else will for you. And you can't live in your head. You can't. Your thoughts will have a way of destroying you if you let them. And when you realize it's just thoughts, they're not real. Even if it is a real situation, like a deadline or a project, it's not that it's not, oh yeah, I know in 2 weeks you have to do that, but that's in 2 weeks.
Mm.
Don't destroy these 2 weeks because what if it's not like that? That's why they say anxiety is about thoughts that 90% of the time don't even occur.
Right.
But you gave yourself that mental beating, that emotion.
And it's repeating thoughts, right? It's the same
Yes,
thoughts. I don't know. Recently, I heard, I don't know how many thoughts we have a day.
70,000.
I don't know how many. Like it's
70,000.
and 90% of those are repeating thoughts.
Yes.
So So it's like the same record over and over. Or I don't know, that was just dating myself, but it's the same thought over and over and over again, right? So yeah. And can we stop that? That's beautiful. That's
It's not,
beautiful. It's like,
not easy though.
yeah, no, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? It's one of those. It's simple, but it's not easy. So, right, last one. What is the legacy that you want to leave? Like, what do you want people to remember about you?
People or my family?
You choose. That's up to you.
I don't really focus on what people. I know some people, I know like for the outside world, somebody wants to, hey, I want to invent this. But to be honest, I just want, like, I want my kids to be able to be like, I had a good father. That's all I care about. In this world, in this world that's trying to like tear people down, I want my kids to know they have somebody that loves them. That's what I want.
Mm.
It's so beautiful.
Kids need love.
Hmm. Yeah,
Kids,
they don't need a million toys and all the other crap that a lot of parents think is, they just need to be loved. They need to know they're safe. They need to know they're protected. They can create and play and be themselves. And yeah.
that was one, not to like kind of switch things, but that was one thing I wish I had growing up. I wish I had somebody who was like, hey, stop rushing to grow up. Your childhood is like this compared to the rest of your life. We live many more years, God willing, older than younger. And I grew up trying to, like, I just happened to have older friends. When I was 10, my friends were 13. When I was 15, my friends were in college or 18, whatever, so
Yeah.
that's what I try to tell my teenage daughter with all the social media and makeup and growing up. And I'm just like, listen, baby girl, just enjoy being a teenager. Trust me, you're going to be an adult young lady, then go on to be a woman and all that. But just enjoy the silliness of being young. It's so important. I think about it now, like, oh my God, when I was 10, I couldn't wait to be 15. When I was 15, I couldn't wait to be 18. Now I'm in my late 30s and I'm like, wow, life is flying. I don't know, but do you feel that way? Like life is going by kind of fast?
Yeah. This year, especially for some reason,
It's
but
like summer. What happened to summer? It's like we're in
Like we blink and we're in October. I'm like, how did that happen? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
hmm. So, Ray, you have a construction business. Do you want to plug your business at this point? Do you
no,
want to tell?
no, not construction. I own an 18 wheeler.
Oh, you have an 18 wheeler.
Yeah, move,
Cool.
move produce. I'm the owner of it. The only thing I don't do is drive, but I'm on top of every different all the RSJ enterprise. Um, but it's not a big. I only have one. It's not a big business, small business. I'm about
Right.
2.5 years now. It's a very difficult industry right now for small businesses.
Logistics is a hard one right now, so we will
Big,
send much love for your business.
big corporations are trying to fizzle us out. Um,
But there's I have to say,
okay,
my boyfriend's dad was in logistics and he thought about switching in and he knows a whole lot about the business. And honestly, with your ethics and your like just the way you live your life as a small logistics business owner, you could actually super clean up because ethics and good business goes a long way. And
it's
yeah.
a it's a very cutthroat business.
Mm-hmm.
Many people can say that. Construction working can say that. A plumber can say that. Anybody. It's. I've learned a lot having to in a way though, because it caused me a lot of stress, especially in the beginning. Still does. I'm just thankful I have different ways of dealing with that stress now. But yeah, big corporations are not a fan of us, but it's okay. You got to start somewhere.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Thank you so, so much for being here with us today. Thank you for bringing your um, curiosity and love of life to our program today.
Thank,
Your passion for your family and giving them a beautiful life is just really inspiring.
thank
Um,
you.
So thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for listening. If you loved it, please leave us a review, share with your friends, and please remember you are extraordinary and you rock. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye for now. Ray, you want to say bye?
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the time. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and peace and love.
Mm-mm.